Welcome to the town meeting for EDU 558. This is a recording that I've made after the town meeting was over, um, and we are going to talk briefly about the class. We're going to talk about the accounts that you might need to set up, what we're going to be doing each week, and determining your presentation groups. And then if you have any questions, you can always send me an email, or we can set up another meeting for us. So the first thing we're going to do is to look at the syllabus. The syllabus is on the Scholar System. Let me go into the Scholar System first, and I'll just show you what it looks like. Scholar.georgetowncollege.edu, and this is EDU 558. Each week, I'll be putting the information about the class underneath that week's date. For this week, this is just the town meeting. I have put a link to the syllabus and a link to the town meeting information. I've also put a link to this presentation forum, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So when you look at the syllabus, first of all, I do have office hours. I have on-campus office hours, and I also have the optional webinar. Each week we will get on with GoToMeeting. I'll put a link on the Scholar System at 8 o'clock p.m. This is optional. You do not have to attend. There's no penalty if you do not ever attend, or you can attend every week. It's totally up to you. I will record the session, so if you're not there in person, you can watch it later on. So we will do that every week on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. So this class concentrates on developing and implementing web-based resources for the classroom. You can either choose for a final project to do a classroom website for getting out information, for delivering content, or you can choose some other type of web resource. If you want to do something for a sports team, for example, that you coach, anything like that, that's a possibility as well. You just need to let me know what you're going to be doing. We'll be talking about all that in the later on here today and throughout the semester. If you are in the old MA and are using this as a content course, like you're an elementary person using this as a content course, then you do have to do a content related web project. Otherwise, it's totally open. We're going to be using lots of different types of web resources. We're going to use Web 2.0 things like social networking and different other types of social websites. We're going to be looking at blogs and wikis and all kinds of neat stuff like that. Forums, learning how to do forums, learning how to do using sites like Moodle and things like that. So it'll be a really fun class. We'll have a lot of neat things to do. There's no textbook required in the class, so you'll be just using the Scholar System. Everything will be there. We do have a class wiki site. A wiki we'll be learning more about. Most of the times you've heard about the word wiki. It's Wikipedia or maybe WikiLeaks. But the URL for our wiki is right here, and this is the user ID and password to join the wiki. What you'll be doing is you'll get on the site, and it will ask you to create an account first. So you create your own account with your own ID and password. And then when you click on this link again, it will then ask you to join the site using the passcode. And so that's what you will need for that, is this the passcode. You will need to set up a blog or an online document to use for your journals for this class. I'm going to really highly suggest that you use Blogger.com because it will allow us to do some neat things with the theme. If you really don't want to use Blogger, you can use Google Docs, or you can use any other blog site that you like. Posterous is another really nice site that you could possibly use. We just have to make sure that we're able to work with the theme and change the theme of the site in some way. You need to add me as a collaborator or as a reader, and I just mainly need to be able to comment. So that's what you will have to make sure I can comment on your site. Um, we will be reading through the Yale Web Style Guide throughout the semester. There is a way you can purchase that if you want to, but there's really no need unless you just like to have it in your hands. You can actually even print it off if you want to. So it's free, though. However, to use online, it costs money if you want to buy it. So these are the kinds of things we're going to be doing this semester. We're going to be making sure that whatever we create meets our classroom or school needs. We're going to use these lots of different web resources to create websites or and we're not just talking about traditional websites, we're talking about any kind of web resource. We're going to learn about creating and using images, audio, and video in websites, and try to make sure that we save these things in the right size and formats so that people can access them. We're going to learn about terminology related to web-based technology appropriate that you would use in written and oral communications. We're going to demonstrate knowledge of equity, ethics, legal, and human issues concerning use of the web. We're going to talk a lot about web accessibility, for example, and how to make your website accessible to those who are using screen readers or who maybe have other issues that they are not able to access computers as just like everybody else does. We're going to be learning how to we're learning current instructional principles, research, and practices. For example, if what if you wanted to use a forum in a class? How would you assess that forum? How would you set that forum up? What are some ways of doing forums that that would be more effective based on the research? So we'll be looking at that as well. We'll be looking at web-based programming, authoring, or problem-solving environments, emerging ones. Web 2.0 is one example of that. We'll even be doing a little bit of very basic HTML, very basic HTML. HTML is how you are able to, how websites actually are coded. And you might say, oh, well, we don't need to know that. Actually, today I actually had to go into the Scholar system and fix the link to get on to the GoToWebinar, and I had to actually go into the HTML to do that. So every now and then it does happen, and so we're just going to learn a little bit about that, what it looks like. We're going to evaluate those online resources. We're going to also identify strategies to support the development of school and laboratory policies, procedures, and practices related to the use of the web. So all kinds of things we're going to be doing. This next part is just those objectives and how we're going to assess those objectives. The grading, that's the standard grading scale for the graduate department. The web project is worth 55 points. You have two options. First, or that's 55% of the grade. Choice number one, you can create a web resource or site that could be used in your school, class, district, etc. to support information distribution or instruction. The topic must be approved by me. We will go through how we're going to design that after the first few weeks of class. Or choice number two, if you're real brave, you could actually install and configure a Web 2.0 server, Moodle, SharePoint, blog server like WordPress, Wiki server, etc. for potential use either in your school or your district. You can work with a team on this, but you must be primarily responsible for setting up the look and feel of the site. The rubric for this project will be the same as choice number one unless you've negotiated it in advance with me. So I hope somebody will take me up on that. Schools are using these sites all the time. Like for example, I think it's Bay County uses iLearn, which is a Moodle, pretty much a Moodle site. So these things are coming up. And in fact, for your website that you create for this class, if your school district already has a Moodle server or some other type of learning server set up and you've never used it before, that could potentially be your project for this class, is to set up your class on that server. This is the criteria for the web project. Most everything is worth the same, and you don't have to get 3s on everything. You could get mostly 3s and then a 2 on a few things and still make a really good grade. So we'll go over each of these as the semester goes along. You'll also be doing a group presentation. That's worth the other 15. That's 15 points, 15%. You'll be in a group of 2 or 3. Most everybody will be in a group of 3. You can either create a podcast for your presentation, a video podcast using Movie Maker, Wink, Camtasia, or other video program, or you can do an online presentation using the GoToWebinar software. And if you do the online presentation, you will have to have an online document that you'll be able to give us. For example, you can create a Google presentation, Prezi, something like that, to be able to use, and then you will present it on the GoToWebinar during our normal webinar session. So this is the information about that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next week, or at our first class, which is on the 18th. Participation is the other 30 points. Every week we will have a discussion forum that you will be able to access. We'll have journal postings and things like that. Just let me know if you're getting behind. If you're going to get behind, you don't want to get behind in the class, but let me know if there's that you have a really good reason for why you're getting behind. We'll work things out. If you get too far behind, though, you may have to drop the class. These are the other attendance and policies and things like that that you might need. Email accounts. I'll only send emails to Georgetown College account. You need to have a way to back up your files, all that kind of stuff. And if you're in the regular MA program, or if you're in the MA program and getting the technology endorsement, either the MA or the MATL, getting the technology endorsement, you will want to put this in your portfolio, and you will want to reflect on it in your portfolio. Okay, this is the tentative calendar down here and the topics that we're going to be talking about. So that's our syllabus. We will be getting online again. The class actually doesn't start till Tuesday, January the 18th. And I'll be holding that optional online meeting at 8 o'clock. It'll be held through GoToWebinar. If you get on the Scholar site, there'll be a link for you to go and add to join that meeting. I'm also going to ask you for a very small little homework assignment. If you go to Scholar, there is a presentation forum. It's right there. Let me actually go to Student View so you can see what it looks like. I want you all to click on this presentation forum, and I want you to choose a group. Some people have already gotten in and chosen a group to be in. I want you to choose a group number, and I want you to add your name to that group, and you can only have 3 in each group. So like for example, if you were to choose group 3 here, you would click on group 3, you would hit reply, and you would put your name in here. And I've also asked you to put some more information. I've asked you to put your name, school where you teach, grade level, email address, and phone number. And so you will put that under there. That will put you in a presentation group. So if you know somebody in the class, you want to be in their presentation group, go on and put it in there. If you go under the participants, it will list everybody that's in the class, I believe. And so when you do that, you can then see if you know somebody in the class and contact them to see if they want to be in your group. I'd like for you to do that before Tuesday. That also lets me know that you were able to get into the Scholar site. And I believe that's everything. If you need to talk with me, send me an email, give me a call. I'll be glad to get on a private GoToMeeting with you, and we can take it from there. And I will be stopping this recording now. So thank you for listening.